What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope the more that we study for ourselves, not only are we able to see the truth in scripture and behind scripture, but we're also able to use it for ourselves. That's the whole point of this, using scripture for ourselves to really live. I want my prayers answered. I want to do some things for God, but if I feel like I'm praying to him and he's not answering, then I want to know why. Helping to understand why things don't always make sense when it comes to scriptures. It ain't got nothing to do with God. God is perfect, but mankind is not. Proverbs 31. It's been burning in my soul is when I watch messages and I believe it for myself and then it don't work. What that does for me, this is me personally, and maybe you can relate to it. It feels like scripture is not working. Do you ever feel like scripture is not working for you? Well, I think I know why. We human beings, preachers, pastors, and anybody on the platform that's telling you something about God, we are not perfect. We make mistakes, but sometimes our mistakes are not corrected. And then me, new believer, I hear a message, I take it and I run with it, and I believe it to be the truth for me. So when I speak this over my life and it don't happen for me, I'm like, okay, God don't hear me, or what is happening that Christianity don't work for me, or I feel like I'm speaking to a wall when I pray because God is not answering. It's not God, it's man, it's mankind. It ain't him, it's us, it's me. So forgive me if I've ever done that, okay? Because I'm not perfect too. But I'm not gonna call out this preacher because I respect him so doggone much. In fact, his message was the bomb. It was the best Christmas message I ever heard. So, fast forward to today. I'm on a message thread. One of my sisters, she brought up this whole thing about, Mary being in a lineage of like David. And I was like, no, he ain't. And that was based on a message that I heard. I was like, no, that was the whole importance of Joseph, because he had the lineage of David, and that's what made prophecy true, that the Messiah has to come out of the line of David. That was Joseph's whole role. Mary is not out of that lineage. She, politely just text me back like, yeah, I think it's in Luke or something where it talks about her lineage. I had to do some studying and I took notes. So she was right. It does. Luke 3:23 through 38 talks all about Mary's lineage. And I am not going to bore you with who begot who and who begot who. Now, Matthew, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. I think he was autistic in a great way because he was so focused and his was more detailed, and he took it from Joseph's line, because back in the day, women didn't count. Their voices didn't matter. When it came to family and who begot, they never mentioned daughters. Well, rarely. They rarely mentioned females. But anyway, so Matthew, he did it right. He did it through Joseph's line to prove that, he was from the lineage of David. Yes, that's correct. In Matthew 1, verses 1 through 16, Joseph, yes, you come from that lineage. So if anybody say that Jesus is your son and he is the Messiah, yeah, he came from the line of David. But Mary, though, there's something about Mary. Guess what? She came from that lineage too. Now, I'm not gonna argue with believers, especially when we're trying to tell the truth about God. It's not an argument, it's not a debate. It's a chance for me to study how the Bible tells us we're supposed to do anyway. It's a chance for me to study, pray about it, and get revelation for myself. And then if I'm so excited or passionate about it, it spills over to you. Sorry, I gotta throw up on you all this that I learned. So what I learned was, the man who preached this message and said Mary had nothing to do with the lineage of David, that was not correct information. But I believe Because what he was trying to do was prove the importance of Joseph, because Joseph didn't really have a part in nothing. Mary got pregnant by the Spirit, and what Joseph got to do with anything? You know, he wasn't even mentioned that much. So he was trying to say how important Joseph was, and how in order for prophecy to become true, he had to come out of the line of David, which was Joseph's line. But it was Mary's line too. So in spite of our mistakes, right, of man and mankind, God has the final answer, and his hand has been over this since yesterday and 2022 years later to today to tell us, yes, Mary came from that line too. And that way, if somebody tried to disprove that Jesus really is the Messiah and he came out of the lineage of David, they cannot disprove it, because not just did the baby daddy, so-called not really daddy, but the stepfather come out of the line of David, but the baby mama did too. So that was God's way of crossing T's and dotting I's to make sure don't nobody got nothing to say about Jesus being a true Messiah. Y'all see this microphone? No, I ain't got no mic. I got a spoon because I'm in the kitchen. And that's all. All right, I just wanted to get this out, and I hope the more that we study for ourselves, not only are we able to see the truth in Scripture and behind Scripture, but we're also able to use it for ourselves. That's the whole point of this, using Scripture for ourselves to really live. I want my prayers answered. I want to do some things for God, but if I feel like I'm praying to him and he's not answering, then I want to know why. So I appreciate you guys joining me today and helping to understand why things don't always make sense when it comes to scriptures. It ain't got nothing to do with God. God is perfect, but mankind is not. So if you like what you heard, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to keep it alive. Now that's what's up. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye. That was such a whack way.